am Meghna Deka and this is the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. Now viewers, the festive season is here. The season of celebrations, and we Indians love to add that bit of sparkle to our festivities. Of course, by buying gold. But right now, even as we speak, gold is on fire. Gold prices are skyrocketing. They are at an all-time high. Usually, it's the demand around the festive season that pushes the prices up. But this time around, this gold isn't just for us Indians and our love for the yellow metal. It is a blend of tradition as well as economy. Why, you ask? What should you be doing, you ask? Should you be buying gold this Diwali? That's what we are going to be discussing. I'm going to be getting you the answer to this very question on our edition of Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. So fasten your seatbelts, keep your remotes away. I'm going to tell you what's behind the gold rush. And is this the best bet for you this Diwali? Well, first up, let's show you just how gold prices have gone up in India. Well, just to put it into perspective, when my mother got married, gold was around 685 rupees per 10 grams. 685. By the time in 2000, when I was in college, it went up to 4,000 rupees. 5 years later, gold was at 7,000 rupees by 2010. Just look at the way that you have gold spiraling up. 2000, it was 4,400. By 2005, 7,000. Then it went up to 18,500. And then it kept going up. Come 2015, it touched 26,000 per 10 grams or 1 tola. By 2020, the year of COVID, it touched 48,650. See the big spike that you saw all the way from 26,000 to 48,650. At times of uncertainty goes to show we, the Indians, turn towards gold. And now, 5 years later in 2025, it is 1,16,410 rupees. Yes, that's right. There you see that huge spike which has gone up from 4,000 to 1,16,410. That's been the journey of gold, isn't it? And which is why the question is, why is gold on fire? Why do we see the spiraling up of gold prices? Gold usually is, after all, considered to be a dead asset because we buy it and we keep it locked up in our lockers or inside our tijoris. Its value has been growing, but it doesn't give us any interest, many say, like the other investments. You do an FD or you invest in the markets. You have other investments which are not seen as dead assets, but gold is. People usually queue to buy gold when there is fear because it is a safe investment. When you buy gold, you have the yellow metal in your hand. It's there, it's palpable, it's in your hand, it's in your safes. You can sell it in dire situations, which you can't do if your investment is your house, for example. Let's say you buy a house, but you're living in that house. You can't do anything at the time of dire straits. So is fear fueling the gold rush? Yes. There are ongoing wars, there is no end in sight, and then there are, of course, Trump's tariffs. No one knows what's going to come up next, which is why there is this uncertainty that you can see on your screens that we are trying to get for you. The uncertainty is pushing us towards gold. The central banks in countries such as India, Russia, China, Turkey, Poland, all of them are now becoming big buyers of gold themselves. They used to buy around 400 to 500 tons of gold usually, and now they are buying about 1,000 tons of gold annually. India's central bank, the RBI itself, has bought a record 57.5 tons of gold in the past year alone. And remember what all we've seen in the past year, the volatility that we've seen in the past year. In fact, our reserves currently stand at 880 tons of gold. Now, the reason behind this frenzy is fear. It's anxiety which is pushing us to buy more and more gold. After imposing, let's break it down for you one after the other. After imposing tariffs on nations, now Donald Trump has started targeting specific sectors. For example, the pharma. For example, furniture. For example, films. I'm going to come to all of that. Nothing is being spared. Every day there is a new strike. Every day there is a new tariff, and that's leading to people looking for options which they think is safe. Something that is going to safeguard their future. In India, while we measure gold in tola, or 10 grams as it is, globally, gold is measured in ounces. Now, 1 ounce roughly translates to 31 grams. So this year, we're going to break it down for you. This year alone, in 2025, gold prices have been increasing, and it's been increasing with a staggering 45%. Can you imagine? From the beginning of the year, there is a 45% hike in where the gold prices are today. Barely a few months away. Just for comparison, in 2024, it was around $2,660 per ounce. But now, it is at $3,800 per ounce. This is, of course, dollar. Look at that huge jump that we have seen in the prices of gold, the increase of 45% in 2025 alone. That really sets the tone. Now, the expectation. Now, that is what everyone wants to know. Yes, we know gold's expensive, but what happens in future? Well, the expectation is that it may just touch a whopping $4,000 per ounce, and these are different projections that we are getting for you. JP Morgan says that by mid-2026, it may just jump up to $4,000 per ounce of gold. There are other projections also. Goldman Sachs, they say by 2026, even more optimistic when it comes to gold, Goldman Sachs says that it may just be $5,000 per ounce of gold. You have all these projections coming in. But look at the last one, and this is an interesting one because it gives you a sense of the long run as to what gold prices will be by 2029. As per JP Morgan, they are saying that it may go up to a whopping $6,000 per ounce. That's the projection. That projection, it makes an attractive asset out of gold. But should you be buying gold? Well, before this decision, you have to see the rise and the rise of gold. Why has it gone up? How has it gone up in the past? Because remember, it took 12 years for gold to move from $1,000 to $2,000. It took 12 long years. Let's not forget. Then there were 4 years. 4 years to move from 2,000 to 3,000. And the journey from $3,000 to $4,000 per ounce has been very, very quick, very dramatic and swift. Seems like less than a year, this benchmark is all set to be crossed. But are we living in uncertain times? Let's not forget, kabhi kuch ho sakta hai. Especially when Trump is involved. Well, sample this, for example. Let's tell you how exactly Trump is fueling this fear. We are going to show you the next graphics, which is going to break it all down for you. Well, there you have it. You have, for example, a 50% tariff plus penalty, which Trump has already put on India, on Indian imports. In addition to that, there are several others as well. For example, you have 100% tariff that Trump has announced. This is going to be from the 1st of October this year. This is going to be 100% tariff on non-US films, which essentially means Bollywood films, Indian films. All of them are going to get 100% tariff slapped on it. 100% tariff is also going to be on non-US drugs, especially the patent drugs as well. Which is why it's important for us to watch out, because after all, India is known as the pharma of the world, and India is going to be impacted by it. There's also the announcement that Trump has made of substantial tariffs which are going to be on non-US furniture. This is also from the 1st of October. There is no clarity as to how much it is going to be. But since we are talking about his tariff, now his tariff announcement for our film industry has sparked off a lot of fears. We are not saying that it's going to directly increase and exponentially at that, the demand for gold. But what happens is that these kind of tariffs which come in suddenly without any kind of a notice does bring in volatility in different markets. For example, imagine the number of people who are involved in the Indian film industry. Because a Bahubali, we are going to break it down. A Bahubali, for example, made about $20 million in the American markets itself. Indian films are getting about 100 to 150 million per year from American markets. Imagine the amount of lives which are linked to Indian cinema as well. You have a Kalki, which made, that movie itself made 13.9, almost 14 to 16.5 million dollars, all of it in American markets. Had it been released today, it would have faced a 100% tariff in America. When you have RRR, it made roughly 13 to 14 million dollars in America. There are others as well. For example, you have Pathan. Pathan, that Shah Rukh Khan film, also made roughly 11 to 17 million dollars in America. And these are reports which are coming in. These are estimates that we are getting for you. This is how much is riding on America for Indians and our film industry as well. This is just a microcosm of it. But now, let's sum up for you. Why is gold on fire? Why is gold on fire? Well, let's break it down for you. You have the US Fed, which is likely to cut the interest rate. What happens if it does? Well, then gold becomes better than fixed deposit, because remember, gold does not have interest rate. The value of gold anyways is going to rise. It is not linked to whether or not interest rates are going to be cut. Second reason, the weakening US dollar. What does this imply? This implies that gold gets cheaper if you have to buy it in other currency. In rupees, for example, it gets cheaper. There are also unending wars and conflicts in the world. As we all know, there's Ukraine, there's Russia, a war which is happening, what's happening in Palestine. All of these unending wars that we have has implied that gold becomes safer because there's a lot of volatility in the markets. Then you have the central banks. They have been increasing their gold reserves, something I was telling you earlier as well. That this implies that they are buying gold to diversify their own assets at a time when there's a lot of volatility. The specific banks that we are looking at, central banks of India, of China, of Russia, they are all buying gold. And not just that, there are big institutions also who are sopping up all the gold they can find and increasing their gold reserves. Why are they doing that? Because they've been stung by tariffs. They see gold as a more reliable, as a more stable asset as well. Which is why it's important to understand as to why gold is on fire. But today we are going to go across to our analysts and they are going to be explaining to us if you should be buying gold. Today joining us on the show, we have Ambarish Baliga, market expert. We also have Nitin Khandelwal joining us, the past president of All India GJC. Nitin, I'm going to come across to you first because after all, Diwali season is here. It's going to be a very busy time for your industry, the gems and jewelry businesses. Will this year see a bigger bumper? Of course, Diwali is a big time when it comes to the gold rush. But this year, given the kind of projections that we have seen in gold, have you seen a spike in demand?
Yeah, I don't see a spike, but it's a continuous demand in the gem and jewelry sector because the people got to understand that gold prices are going to hike day by day. But
Yes.
You are speaking about the Trump. It's not only Trump. If you see that China banks are purchasing from last 21 months and more, adding the fuel in that, China has allowed their insurance company to invest in the gold. That is one scenario. The another scenario, the world is not having any faith in any currency of the world because it is a time of the de-dollarization. So everybody is going to invest in the gold because every country, like it is OPEC country, it's a China, is India or any country, they are converting their reserves in the gold. So that is the second scenario. And the third most important is no marriages in India is get married
Absolutely.
because without the gold. So they are keep buying. And now the credit goes to all this media, whether print media or electronic media. Continuously from last few years, they are telling about the importance of the gold, hike in the gold and uncertainty of the gold. And one more interesting thing which I want to tell you, in this scenario, there are 8 to 10 countries are fighting with each another.
Right.
And there are crores of people who have lived their countries. उन्होंने अपनी country छोड़ के निकल गए. They were having the bank balance, they are having the share, they are having the property, equity. They are not able to carry anything except the gold. And no currency in the world goes up more than 25 to 30 countries. But this is the only metal or currency which can you use and आप यूज कर सकते हैं वर्ल्ड की 200 कंट्री के अंदर. तो गोल्ड इज अ गुड एसेट जिसको लेके जा सकते हैं, घूम सकते हैं, रह सकते हैं. तो वो है गोल्ड.
And gold is in your hand, it's in your safe, it's with you, it's palpable, you can see the gold, you can see your own
possession.
You have possession of gold, absolutely, you have possession.
Yeah.
And that is what makes it so very valuable. And you're absolutely right that there is no Indian wedding, be it of someone who's rich or poor, good market, bad market, volatile or not, does not matter. There is always going to be a demand for gold during a wedding. So Ambarish Baliga, in addition to just the markets, just the Diwali, all of that happens year on year. But right now there's a lot of uncertainty, which has been sparked off and fueled by Trump's tariff. We literally don't know in the morning what you're going to be waking up to. Has this really made gold a safer bet? Because investing in markets right now, globally, they're very volatile. Why should people?
Yeah, Meghna, I think there are a number of reasons. Trump tariff clearly is one of them. Because of which we are seeing the global commerce in turmoil, because you really don't know as to what is going to announce tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So yes, I mean, that has pushed people to buy gold. But at the same time, you have the geopolitical uncertainty. I mean, we have 56 conflicts going on globally. Although, I mean, all of us know about Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, Iran-Israel issue, which happened in between. We had the India-Pakistan issue in between. But so much of geopolitical uncertainty, this also ensures that the demand for gold goes up. Now, in the last 1 year, we have seen the US dollar weakening, which you just mentioned, against major currencies. Yes. I mean, that also pushes a lot of central banks and institutions to buy gold, because there are many countries which are looking to move away from the dependence on USD. So that's one of the reasons why we have seen a huge amount of demand for gold, especially from a country like China, which has been amassing gold since the last, at least 4 or 5 years. I mean, we have seen their demand for gold really shooting up. And when all this is going on, you have a number of retail investors and traders who also jump onto the bandwagon because they don't want to miss out on this move. So that also creates a lot of momentum, because of which the gold prices go up. And last but not the least, India is one of those few countries which actually consumes gold, because the rest of them are all investors. But Indians are the ones who actually consume gold due to our festive season, the vending demand. I mean, if you see last year, Indian consumers consumed 563 tons of gold. So, I mean, this demand keeps going up year on year. Yes,
okay.
This year we may see that the demand is stable because of the way the prices have shot up. Otherwise, this demand keeps going up year on year.
It does go up year on year, but I'm going to put you in a spot. Quickly, gentlemen. Nitin Khandelwal, starting from you. Your projection for the next year, we got our viewers, some of the projections coming in. Is this the right time to buy gold? What's your advice?
See, you are speaking about your childhood and your mother. That time also gold was costly. Gold was not cheap any time in your life. जब 4,000 गोल्ड था तब भी महंगा था, 10,000 था तब भी महंगा था. इसलिए गोल्ड जब तक महंगा है तब तक ही सेल होगा. तो मैं इस साल का जो प्रेडिक्शन देख रहा हूँ, एटलीस्ट 1,50,000 रुपीज, एंड इन द डॉलर पर 4,200 रुपीज. एंड आई डोंट नो अबाउट द करेंसी रेट. I mean to say Indian currency and dollar.
Okay, that's very interesting, because many are saying that there is resistance before it crosses the 4,000 mark. But that'll be an interesting one to watch. What would you like to say? Do you agree with it, Ambarish? Do you think gold may be the best bet, especially when there is uncertainty? Should individual investors, specifically individual investors, try and diversify their own portfolios?
No, one should surely have gold in the portfolio. But I would say sell everything else and buy gold. Surely not. Because if you look at the history, whenever I think this is the first time the gold has moved up so sharply in such a short time. But whenever gold has moved up sharply, it has always corrected. And after that, we've seen a long time when gold has not moved up. And I don't know how many people can buy gold today at whatever, 1,16,000, 1,20,000.
It's very expensive though. Absolutely.
And afford to see levels of 75,000, 80,000 and not panic.
So that's a very interesting point both of you are making. Yes, buy gold, do diversify, but remember, gold is always expensive. Gold has always been expensive. It will continue to remain expensive, as Nitin has said it. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but hopefully there are going to be some important pointers that our individual investors back home are going to be. Everything that glitters may or may not be gold. Without a short break.